Jiří Procházka's next opponent, guys, this is one that will confuse me and frustrate me, but at the same time, it will humor me. I will look down and tease, I will scold the guys in the division who are behaving like fools. Now, make sure you understand, if I ask you a question, said, you're going to fight Jiří Procházka. Tell it to you, you're going to fight Jiří Procházka. Boy, I just gave you a hard fight, didn't I? That's a tough one. That's going to be a rough night. That's going to be a real hard tour. Okay. You're going to fight Glover Teixeira. Ooh. I just gave you a tough one, didn't I? Maybe even harder than Jiří. Considering Glover was 20 seconds away from beating Jiří, I might have just given you a harder fight. Definitely debatable. Okay, hold on. You got to fight Jan Blachowicz. Oh, the Polish hammer, who's irritated and motivated and fired up and was just world champion less than a calendar year ago. Ooh, I just gave you a hard night, didn't I? Ooh. All right, I'm going to have you fight Ankalaev. Now, you only got to fight one of these guys. I'm to my final one. You're going to fight Ankalaev. Number 4 ranked guy in the world who just defeated and even finished Anthony Smith, who has not lost in his career save one, Paul Craig. Ooh, I just gave you a hard one, didn't I? I mean, I did you no favors. You're going to have a really hard experience. As a matter of fact, pretty interchangeable. I don't think when I tell you you're going to fight Ankalaev that you felt a relief in comparison with when I told you you're going to fight Procházka. You probably felt the same thing. You probably literally felt the exact same thing. And I don't think when I told you you're going to fight Glover, and then I said, no, hey, that's okay, you're going to fight Jan, I don't think that you went, whoo. I mean, Jan's going to be hard, but at least it's not Glover. I don't think you did that. I think you basically felt the same thing for all 4 of those matches that I gave you in that hypothetical experiment. And why? Because they're equals. Those 4 guys, not one of those guys can beat the other 3, just so you understand. Whoever the champion of the world is cannot beat the other 3. He will give the belt back at some point, even if he can reclaim it. There is nobody clear at 205 pounds. It's very competitive. It's very hard. It's a compliment to the division, not an insult to any athlete. But once I prove that, which I just did very successfully, once we all agree on that, do you see the difference in fights? You don't see a difference in how hard it's going to be. You don't see the difference in still sets. You don't see the difference in the pain that you're going to feel. You don't see the difference in days that you're going to spend in the emergency room when this thing's over getting stitched up and put back together. Do you see it different in fights? Because only one of them is going to be a guaranteed main event on a pay-per-view for the World Championship. So you're going to do the same job. You're going to do the same lifting. You're going to do the same study. You're going to have the same experience. But one of them is going to pay not only in literal money, but in intrinsic value as well. One of them is going to pay significantly different. So do you see where, if I offered you those 4 guys and I let you pick, all of you unanimously, based on the criteria that I just put forward, which is this is going to suck, all of you would have picked Jiří. All of you. But Glover, Ankalaev, and Jan are not willing to compete for that job. It's just that, guys. It is a job interview at this point. You are going to put your resume on the table. You are going to try to explain why you deserve this, why you want this, why this cares more to you, and you're a better choice than the other 2 that are also applying for the same job. It's nothing more than that. Now, that's the good news. Whoever gets that, and you can see that real motivation, you can see the drive, you can see the difference in the exposure and the opportunities to be in the marquee main event on a pay-per-view versus not. However, you're going to have an equal motivation to get it because whoever does not get it, now you 2 are going to fight, and it's not going to be a main event, right? If Glover gets the fight with Jiří, that means Jan and Ankalaev are going to go fight. They are not going to have the belt. They're not going to have the money. They're not going to have the opportunities. They're not going to have the exposure leading into it. They're not going to be doing interviews on SportsCenter. They're just going to have to go and fight. And now that debate is so you can at least get rid of one of those sons of bitches. The other two are going to do something, get pushed to the back, and you can move forward. But that's still the spot you're in. So you have a double motivation. It is extremely important between those four, if you're getting lined up, that you get lined up with Procházka. It is extremely important. Not only to your career and your hopes and your dreams, but you have a double motivation that whoever doesn't get the job has to fight the other one. How would you like that in a job interview, guys? Have you ever even imagined anything like that? Because that's quite literally what this is. This is not sophisticated and complicated. This is no different than the jobs that you have that you went in for. 3 guys go in for a job, 1 guy gets it, and the other 2 have to fight. And whoever loses the fight, don't ever come back. The guy that wins the fight, you can come back. I'm not guaranteeing you anything, but you can at least come back. The one who loses, you're done. It is over. That is the spot that they're in. Glover Teixeira would like to fight for the world championship, and he has the right. 20 seconds away. The most recent thing to the belt, not named Jiří Procházka, gave an opportunity to Jiří, and Jiří has verbally agreed to give it back. He's got the right. But understand this, if he does not get the opportunity and he loses his next match, it is over. It is over. He will never, ever return to the conversation of #1 contender, which could lead to a championship again. It's a fact. Jan's a little younger. Ankalaev would fall in that same category. There is a way that they could at least return to it. But wouldn't you do everything in your power to keep yourself out of that position? Because those 3 guys are doing nothing. And I do mean nothing. I made a clip a week ago. I titled it, Glover Teixeira, Ankalaev, and Jon Procházka. It is the single least viewed clip that I have done. In recent memory, for that matter. All that the audience knows is Glover Teixeira, Ankalaev, and Procházka. It bombed. That's not on me. You don't know what's in the clip. You can only say I bombed after you watch the clip. You don't want to see it because you're not interested in them. What? Why are you not interested in them? I should have just been able to put Teixeira and done a bunch of clips. I should have just put Ankalaev. I should have just put Jan. I put all 3 of them. All 3 of them worked together. Audience said, we'll pass. We're going to go watch something else. We want to see about Jake Paul's botched fight against Bottom Ramen Jr. Okay. There's nothing I can do. I will come over here and help. I will tee you up as I can. But during that clip, I took out my phone. I just read you their social media. Said, look, here's what Glover's done. I went over to Jan's. I said, look, here's what Jan's done. I was going to pull that same stunt away today because what's the difference? You guys didn't watch the first clip. You wouldn't know that I'm ripping myself off. I was going to do that, except in preparation to sit down and talk to you guys right now. I brought up their social media. It hasn't changed. They have literally done nothing. They are in a job interview. Okay? This isn't something that you fight for with your hands. There's not a punch that's going to be thrown to get this contract, get this opportunity. It is going to have to be done verbally. And it will start with a mandate of the masses. Once you win over the people, that will get passed on to the second floor of the UFC, and that is how the decision will be made. The same as it's been made since 2001. And they either don't know or they don't care. Now, one of them's going to get a phone call. One of them's going to get the fight. So one of them is going to say, ha ha, Chael, that's not what this is all about. One of them's going to get to do that. But you have a dead even field of nobody doing anything. Glover Teixeira should have been given the Procházka fight the night that he lost the belt, and history says he would have got it. But he didn't. And the reason he didn't get it is because Anthony Smith spoke up and said, hold on, Ankalaev and I believe we're the #1 contenders. Don't take your eye off it. Don't sign anything because we're yet to compete. Anthony Smith, through speaking up, is the only reason that Glover has to get that fight. I will still predict for you that Glover will get that match. But he's going to get that match based on a dart going at the wall. You have 3 guys who don't want the match. You have 3 guys who are not fighting for the match. You have 3 guys that are not arguing for the match. You have 3 guys that are offering absolutely no excitement. Guys, listen, 1 week ago, I told you it was going to be Josh Emmett versus Volkanovski. That was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. A week later, I told you it was going to be Yair versus Volkanovski. Now it's not even a debate. It's not even a discussion. It will be Yair versus Volkanovski. Josh Emmett has done nothing. I'm a Josh Emmett fan. Oh, I like Josh Emmett. I really do. But he's in a battle with Yair. Josh has not said a word or done anything. Yair has been out and about and even showed up to the event over the weekend, ran into Volkanovski, made sure that we all knew about it. It wasn't great. It wasn't overly interesting. He still did it. Josh did nothing. There is a meaningful... The guy that I told you 3 weeks ago was going to be fighting. He was the number one guy. He was the number one contender. Everything was lined up. Got passed over. Now it's Josh versus Yair. Josh stayed home. Yair went out there. Yair will get the fight. It's not even a maybe. Not even maybe. Interim championship, Josh versus Yair. Forget the whole thing. It's not going to happen. Volkanovski's got a hurt finger and Yair's got a hurt hand. They're dead even. Both of you go repair. We'll do the fight when we can do it. I mean, that's just the spot that we're in. And I only bring you that. I don't take a pleasure in that. I think Josh Emmett's a wonderful choice. And I think the X's and O's are very interesting. I hope that wonderful things happen for him. I'm just bringing it. This isn't Chael's opinion. This isn't Chael over here playing Chael's court and being a jerk to anybody. This is the way that it works. And it's worked this way since 2001. Nothing's changed. You didn't have anybody to explain it to you the way that I am. And some of you wish it went this way. And believe me, I'll hear from you in the comment section. Light heavyweight is dead even. Ankalaev's argument is just as strong as Jan's, who is just as strong as Glover Teixeira. When you are dead even, in every sport in the world, and the NCAA and the Olympic Committee will back me up, every reputable sports organization in the world, when you're dead even, will turn to what's known as head-to-head competition. In head-to-head competition, Glover beat Jan. The NCAA and the Olympic Committee will support me when I tell you it should go to Glover. Why isn't that done? Because it hasn't gone to Glover. Why hasn't it gone to Glover? Because he hasn't done anything to show that he wants it. And that's my guy. I'm being as nice as I possibly can to the guy who I feel I have the closest relationship with. But if I come out here and I tell you anything less than Glover has done nothing, and I mean zero, I'm being dishonest. That's what he's done. The good news is, Jan's done a little less than zero, because Jan actually come out and did talk to the people, but he tried to peddle a cryptocurrency on you. So that sends him right, he's the other way. Ankalaev was seen last. Offers an interesting parody. Brings in a different demographic. Completely different part of the world. Also decided to do nothing. So one of them, through no fault of their own, will have an opportunity to see their dreams come true. They will make a ton, big jackpot full of money. They'll be in front of you guys. They could never fight again, even in defeat, and ride out on a very high part of their career. One of them. The other two will fight each other. Of those two, one of them will never return to the conversation. That is how steep the stakes are, and all three of them still decided to quit.